Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'd like to bring you a product review. I'd like to talk with you about SureTHIK Hair Thickening Fibers. I have talked about fibers in the past. Fibers saved me for 20 years prior to discovering wigs of my progressively worsening hair loss. I couldn't have lived without fibers, and I have talked about this in previous videos, but if you have been around for any period of time with me, you know that I love to bring you multiple reviews of products, even if they are similar products to other things I've reviewed, because not everything works for every person. And so anytime I have an opportunity to show you something, I will show it to you. SureTHIK did reach out to me and asked if I would partner with them, try out their product, and if I liked it, bring it to you guys and tell you about it. I like it, so I'm gonna bring it to you guys. If you wanna know more about this, even if you don't think you'll wear it for your hair loss, even if you're a full-time wig wearer or topper wearer, fibers could help you blend your hair if you struggle with that. So if you wanna know more, stick around and I'll tell you everything I've learned. So like I said in the beginning of this video, SureTHIK did partner with me to bring you this product. I know that there's controversy over doing reviews of products that you were given for free. I do try to be as honest as I possibly can about everything I bring you guys. It's so important that we review a lot of products because not everything works for every person. And the reality is, for someone like me, I couldn't afford to buy every single thing I review. So I am so grateful that SureTHIK reached out to me. I will do my very best to give you guys unbiased information and just present you with the facts as I know them, and then let you do the rest of your research. So I sure hope that you won't feel like I can't be honest about something I was sent. I really think I can be. I just want to say that. I know some of you know me by now and you understand that, but if you're new, I need you to know that. So let's talk about fibers. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, I loved fibers. Well, I didn't love fibers, but they were the best solution for me for 20 years before my hair loss got so bad that I had to look into something else, and I found wigs. One thing I have learned though, if you've tried other fibers in the past and you didn't like them, that doesn't mean that these won't work for you. The reason I review multiple products that do the same thing is because we have different preferences. We have different ways of using things. We have different body chemistry and needs physically. And so what works for one person often doesn't work for another person. So it's important to know all of your options. I have 2 other videos out there talking about hair fibers, 2 different other brands. And so you can go see my videos on those other brands. You can watch other reviews. You can see how they were made and make a decision whether or not this might be one to try. What I will tell you, these fibers are made out of bits of keratin. They actually take little bits of keratin, I have some notes here, and they cut them into these little tiny fibers. Some fibers are made with cotton, and some fibers are made with chemicals sometimes including aluminum. I will tell you that the fibers I used for 20 years, Topic fibers, did such a good thing for me, and I'm so grateful to have had them, but they were a little bit irritating to my scalp. I would sometimes find that my scalp would be very itchy, and I have a feeling it was the chemicals in that particular brand that didn't fully agree with me. It wasn't bad enough for me to stop using them, and quite honestly, there weren't a lot of other resources 20 years ago when I first started using Topic fibers. So this being made out of keratin and no other chemicals could be a good solution if you're very sensitive to things. I cannot speak to whether or not this would be irritating to me because I have such profound hair loss. I really don't wear fibers right now, but I am in the process of growing my hair out for an experiment, and I may start trying to use fibers again just to see if it gives me another option on days when I just can't put a wig on because it's too hot. And so that is one benefit of fibers. If you run hot all the time and it is exacerbated by putting a hat on your head or wearing a wig, if you can work with a hairstyle and accessories and fibers to disguise your thinning in a way that you're comfortable with, this could really be a game changer for you. Another use for these, well, actually, I'll demonstrate it for you. Let me just tell you a little bit more about this. So when you get this, if you get the starter pack, you'll get the shaker. There's like a shaker top, and in here are the fibers. So you can use this to shake the fibers onto your head if you want to, but let me give you another option. This could be good for covering large areas of your head, but there is an applicator that's really great. But essentially the fibers are like a little, almost like a powder, a little bit heavier than a powder inside of here. What you also get, if you get the starter kit, you can just buy these by themselves too, is this applicator. This did not exist when I first started wearing fibers. This thing would have been a game changer for me. So this is a gravity-fed applicator. You secure, oops, I've just squeezed the thing a little bit. You put the applicator on, you tip it upside down, and you let the fibers fall into the cap here. This is gravity-fed, which works really, really well. With this, you get 3 different tips, different nozzles. This one, let me show it to you, is more like a fan, or so it could be great for a hairline if you're trying to be precise on a hairline. And then it also comes with this other applicator tip. Kind of hard to do this with only 2 hands. That looks like that. So I think this one is just a little bit bigger than this one, and there it goes. I'm actually going to switch these out and show you how much of kind of the space you can use when you use the bigger nozzle. Okay, I just had to pick it up off the floor. So basically, all you do is you screw this off. It's really easy, and if you have trouble with your fingers, this part is super easy to do. I'm having no issues at all changing out the nozzles. What I do find is a little tricky is utilizing this, and I'll talk a little bit about it as I demonstrate that. I think some of it is just my inexperience. It will take practice, but if you have a lot of mobility issues, I really think this might be difficult for you. I think you'll be able to shake it on with the shaker top. What's hard about this is being really precise with it, and it can be quite messy if you just use that shaker top. These fibers are so fine, they sort of get everywhere, even if you're trying to be very careful. But let me show you what you can do here. So basically you take this and then you squeeze. See how it's coming out? So you see how thin my hair is, and I took a picture before we started, and I'll take an after picture so you can see what a difference it makes. But you just sort of squeeze it on to cover up whatever hair loss you have. I mentioned that this could be used with wigs and toppers. Let me tell you how you can do that. Let's just say when you wear wigs, you can see your bio hair on the sides. That's a really common concern, and it's what I talk about in my wig reviews when I talk about coverage on me. So let's say you're having trouble blending your bio hair because of how thin it may be on the sides. What you can do is you can take this and you can squeeze. I got a little bit too far forward because it's hard to see in my phone, but you just squeeze this on the sides here. Whoops. There you go. Told you guys it's hard to see in my phone. And then you just sort of create more of a hairline. How awesome is that? This could be a great way to blend your wigs if you're struggling with that. So don't just think this is only for people with hair loss. The other thing that this comes with is a stencil. What this is for is you can use it to help mimic a more natural hairline. If I were to just spray this along my hairline, it's going to look a little obvious because nobody's hairline is even. This allows me to sort of set it at the edge of my hairline, and then I really can't see in my phone doing this, but then I would spray it and it would give me a more natural hairline. When you're finished using the product, they have a fiber holding spray, a fixative, that you just gently spray over your head, and it will help hold the fibers in place. I remember when I used to wear fibers all the time, I would sometimes use hairspray for that. I think you probably can get away with using hairspray instead of buying this if you don't want to, but it is nice, especially if you're new to this, to sort of utilize their whole system because they put it together for a reason, and see how that works for you. It is really important that you do that finishing with a hairspray or the fixing spray, because that way if you go outside and it's a little windy, it's really going to hold that in place. So again, all you're doing is you're squeezing this applicator and you're covering up your thinning spots, whatever they may be. And like I said before, if you've got huge areas that you need to cover, or the back of your head, which is kind of hard to get back there with this, then you can just switch this out, use the shaker and shake that on. One thing that I will warn you about, you can't swim with this stuff. Now this says, let me get my notes out for you guys. This says that they're moisture repellent and won't run, stain, or smear when they get wet. My experience just in testing this out so far, I wouldn't swim with it. And if it is a downpour, I would protect my head. It may be fine for a light sprinkle, running through in a light sprinkle, but any heavy amount of water, it is going to cause it to, whether it stains or runs, it's definitely going to cause it to move around. Some of it's going to wash off and you'll be left with patches where you can see where you had product and other spots where you don't. So there are drawbacks to fibers. I watched another review of this because whenever I review a product, I really want to know what other people are saying. And she said, she was answering a question she had gotten, and she said that this doesn't come off on her pillowcase or anything like that. I'm really skeptical about that, to be honest with you guys. When I wore Topic fibers, my pillowcases were always covered in them because I didn't wash my hair every single night before I went to bed. I can't, and I've tested this out. This isn't the first time I've used it. I've tested it out. I wanted to see how it would work. And when I sort of rub my hands through, like right now, I'm being very careful to be light. If I use the shaker top though, it goes on much heavier. And when I do this, I will get a little bit on my hands. So you want to be really careful that you're not putting such a heavy coating on that it's actually sitting on top of your hair. That's why I think this applicator is genius. It really helps get in where you want those fibers. I also, when I've tested it out, I've also just taken a towel and rubbed vigorously on my head, and I've been able to remove the fibers. Now, that was having not used the fixative spray, but what that tells me is that, you know, there are limitations to this. And so if you're going to be swimming, if you're going to be going to bed, all of those things, I wouldn't expect these fibers to stay perfectly in place. But for everyday wear, for just wearing out and about, for wearing to work, for wearing whatever you're going to do, I think this could be a really great solution. And I really appreciate the research that's gone into creating these to help those of us with hair loss. Some of the important bullet points I think you want to know. Like I said, they're made with little pieces of keratin. And so sometimes fibers are made with chemicals, sometimes with cotton. These are made with keratin. Keratin is a natural product, and so hopefully it won't be irritating to the majority of people who try it. They wash off with shampoo, and I can attest to that, and it says they won't stain or run like other products. I cannot testify to that, but I know there are a lot of reviews out there that share this information. I'm just trying to get this out there to you guys, even though I don't have the perfect hair to be showing this to you, but what I do have was 20 years of fiber using experience. It says it feels and looks more natural than synthetic keratin or cotton-based fibers. I will say these are very light and natural feeling. I really like them, and I think that they look really natural when you have them on. Obviously, I didn't cover my whole head yet. What they are is they're electrostatically charged, so when you put them on and you squeeze them onto your scalp, what happens is they blend with your hair, and the hair actually helps to hold them in place. What also happens is your hair looks thicker and fuller, which is was a huge benefit to anyone losing their hair. You know that your hair is very fine. This can really help with that. It says it attaches to each individual hair strand, and they have a money back guarantee. So if you want to try these out, I have a discount code for you in the description. You can get a discount on it, and they stand behind their product. So if you try it out and you find it's not for you, you can reach out to them and get your money back. But here's the thing, you guys, like everything else on this journey, it takes practice. I was horrible at using fibers when I first started wearing them. It was awful. I got them everywhere, on my neck, on my shoulders, all over the bathroom, all on my face. It was kind of a disaster, but over time I got better at applying and I made less of a mess. This applicator takes a little bit of practice in getting it so, you know, I've seen people can use it with one hand. I really can't do that. I have arthritis in my joints, arthritis in my fingers, but when I hold it with the other hand, it works great. And I can actually feel it going on my hair as I'm doing this. And then what I do is I just do a gentle, like this, over the top. I'm not touching my scalp. I'm actually just rubbing my hair so that if I had any on the outside of my hair, I'm sort of patting it in. I'm not getting any on my hands. So it's really working well to get it where I want it. So if you do decide to try it, be patient with yourself. Give yourself some time to learn the technique, to practice. And I think you'll find that this could be a great solution for you, whether it's putting it on your whole head or just blending your hairline with your wigs and toppers. There was one other thing I was going to tell you guys. Oh, color. Color could be hard to decide. And so what my recommendation is buy a color darker than you think you need. When I reached out to them, I said, well, I don't know how your coloring works. I'm getting some gray. I don't know if I need dark brown. I don't know if I need medium brown. And they recommended the dark brown, and the dark brown works so good for me. So if your hair is similar to mine, dark brown could be great, but they've got blonde, I think they've got gray, they have all kinds of different colors. So you just find what will work out best for you. And we all know, like, the reason why some wigs come rooted is because it can make it look a little bit more natural when the rooting is darker than the rest of the hair. It can also create a bit of a shadow, so that why they call it often a shadow root. So it almost looks more like a shadow and disguises permatease or anything that you might see on a wig. Similarly to this, if you use it a little bit darker than your hair, it's going to look a little bit more natural and won't stand out as much as if you went a shade lighter than you needed. All right, you guys. That's all I have. SureTHIK Fibers. I'm going to apply it to the rest of my head in my bathroom where I can see in the mirror. And then I'll attach a picture so you can see the before and after. Seriously, you guys, I have been wanting to maybe experiment with not wearing wigs on occasion. So I'm probably going to actually start using this and see how it goes. I think we need to have a lot of different options because life throws us curveballs and we just never know what's going to happen. And if you are struggling with the wig wearing journey and you haven't found a wig that you're comfortable in yet, maybe fibers will tide you over until you can get there. Or maybe you're in a financial situation that's really difficult right now and wigs are just too expensive for you. Maybe fibers can get you through that transition period until you find a wig that will work and that you can afford. So I definitely think products like this are wonderful and I'm so grateful for them. Don't forget, coupon code in the description. They have a money back guarantee. Let me know if you have questions. I really hope this helped someone out there. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new to my channel and you found me because of fibers, I do wig reviews, I talk about hair loss, I do everything I can to support what I call my wig sisters through this journey because I've been there. We're all trying to get through this life the best way possible. And I think the support from other sisters is invaluable and that's what I hope to do. So I hope you'll stick around and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I'll talk to you soon. All right, I'm back and here is the finished product. I think it looks really good. I will tell you guys, getting back here and back here was challenging for me. I really, really love how that applicator works though. I think it is much more controllable. You don't run the risk of shaking out so many more fibers than you need. And when you're shaking the fibers, they do tend to sort of get in the air just a little bit where the applicator did not cause that. So it was worth it to me to do the work to figure out how to get that back. So I did use the applicator on my whole head. But I like the way it turned out. And I don't know, they don't seem as messy to me as fibers I've used in the past. So I really appreciate that as well. So my opinion is it's worth a shot. If for any of the reasons that I talked about in this video, if you think you could benefit, use the coupon, take advantage of the guarantee. But I definitely think it's worth a shot to try them and see if they can help you. That's it, guys. Thanks again. I really appreciate you.